Hello, I'm Professor Moynagh Sullivan from the Department of English at Maynooth University, and I'm here to talk briefly about what universal design for learning means to me. Fundamentally, I see UDL as the bedrock of inclusive education. For me, it represents a practical means of embedding equality and equity, diversity, inclusion, and interculturalism in the steps we take each and every day in the lecture halls and seminar rooms. Each UDL action is like a building block that supports more and more inclusion. When universal design is used for buildings or urban spaces, it takes account of the widest possible population of users and includes things such as ramps, wide doors, sensitive lighting, and so on, so that these features then do not have to be retrofitted to minimize barriers and to provide inclusion. When we design with the widest possible or the most diverse student populations in mind, we enhance accessibility and minimize barriers. We also minimize the need for retrofitting, and we avoid singling out students who may find themselves excluded by virtue of background, culture, language, or support needs. The +1 model, where we can add one small action at a time that can make a big difference to a single student or to many, is a really practical way to begin to make our classes more inclusive. And in making things better for one, we make things better for all. Sometimes something as simple as using a sans-serif font, a font without all the squiggles and the wiggles, in front-facing documents and visuals can maximize accessibility and reduce barriers for neurodivergent learners. Or, for instance, some students do not enjoy speaking in front of a group and find it anxiety-making or difficult in other ways, and yet participation in class is very often included as a component of assessment. In the UDL framework, assessment is described as action and expression, and one action that can ensure such students do not get disadvantaged is to provide the opportunity, for instance, for students to write or to participate in other ways in the class, such as a pre-recorded presentation, which does not involve necessarily speaking in front of the group. The UDL principle of providing multiple means of representation is also helpful for supporting diverse learning preferences and different lifestyles. For instance, providing graphic guides or videos for visual learners, or audiobooks or podcasts for commuters, creates more opportunity for students to access key and support material. These are only some examples of the very realistic +1 steps we can do to enhance our UDL actions. And they represent for me, most importantly, the opportunity to create the widest possible opportunity for learning for all. Fundamentally for me, UDL is the realistic, concrete realization and actioning of EDI values. Thank you for your kind attention.